Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching from and as far as your time zone is concerned. Robert Burale is my name. I am your coach and your friend. Today allow me to talk to you about a topic that I've titled, Yes, You. Many a times, many people get to a place where they think they will amount to nothing. Well, because of the mistakes we have done, because of what people have said to us, some things we have believed and we have become, in as far as our mind is concerned. Today, allow me to speak to you who feels that maybe you're too filthy, you're so vile that there's nothing you have to offer this world. Well, even the scriptures are very clear. Before you were born, I knew you. Before your birth, I consecrated you. You have been anointed for the nations. Well, God knew you even before you were born. But so many times, because of our life experiences, our environment, and the people around us, we tend to believe that we are too useless. And yes, we have made mistakes. You have made mistakes. But a mistake is not a final sentence to mediocrity and nothingness. But then what do you do if you feel that there's nothing that can come out of you? Number one, accept there's a mistake. Accept your mistakes. Accept some things that are not supposed to be part of your life, but have been part of your life. Once you accept, that is your journey to redemption. That is your journey to help. That is your journey to healing. That is your journey to what we call the turnaround. Well, yes, you, prostitute, gangster, name it all. Serial dater, been sleeping around, you name it all. There's nothing under the face of this earth that you have not done. Well, guess what? You still can turn around. Have you accepted there's a mistake? Do you feel you're tired of that? And if you're the kind of person who's feeling right now that there's something that you have to offer, there's a discomfort within you that no, I'm better than this. No, I need to manifest more. I need to get better. There's something that is in me that people don't know. But then because of the things you have done or the things you're going through right now, voices tell you don't even bother because you will amount to nothing. Don't even start that which you think you're trying to start. Just go on with your mediocre life. Go on drinking. Go on taking drugs. That voice. Maybe sometimes the voice of the environment. Oh, but you've been born from a poor family. There's nothing that your family has ever done of repute. You know, you've not been to university. Nobody in your lineage has ever gone to institutions of higher learning. So who are you to think that you can do it? Well, I got news for you. You're watching me because your heart still beats and your blood is still running through your veins. That clearly tells me that you can still turn around. So you accept there's a mistake. And number two, once you accept there's a mistake, look at some of the things that made you comfortable in those things, who took you into being a gangster, prostitution, and all this kind of drugs and all this kind of things and behavior. What do you do now? Start disconnecting. Start disconnecting, because you have to disconnect with the people or the things that aid you to do those things that you are now tired of. And I know today you want to break off so that you can break forth. Once you start getting away from the people or the things that took you into that dungeon, into that pit of desperation, you now start looking for people who will help you go through this journey. But these people cannot judge you. These people, yes, have never been prostitutes before, have never taken drugs before, but they do understand what it means to be tired of some of these things in life. They cannot judge you, so be careful who you go to. They cannot look down upon you. In fact, they need to be filled with so much compassion to help you get out. And if that's you who somebody is reaching out for and reaching out to, the problem is some people, when others come to you with some of these deep issues that may appear disgusting in the eyes of man, you now start disowning them. You do not want to associate with them, yet they have been open enough to tell you. Do you know God will use you to help somebody else? Yes, you'll have to hold their hand, and their hand may be stinking of behaviors that are not complementary to the things of God, but they want out. Some are bleeding. Some are hurting. You got to get to a place that you're ready to hug somebody who has come from living with the swines. You must have the love and the compassion to hold on to somebody who is smelling of death. Somebody who is full of mad because of their past behavior, because of the issues, drugs and all these things. You've got to be willing to hug them and tell them you will succeed. You know, one great friend of mine said something during the men's conference, that a gentleman fell into a pit. And when one person passed, he said, help me, help me. And the person just wrote a note and says, I'm a lawyer. When you get out, come to my office, we shall sue whoever made you fall here. And went on. And another one passed, and the man said, help me please, get me out of this place. And this gentleman wrote another note and threw it down and said, I'm a doctor. When you get out of this place, come, I will treat you. But the third person passed. And this man who had fallen into the pit with nobody to help said, please help me. And what this gentleman did, he jumped into the same pit. So the one who needed help told him, are you crazy? Now we both need help. This man said, no, don't worry. I have been in this pit before. I know the way out. Today, if you have been in that kind of pit, maybe God delivered you from sex addiction. God delivered you from drug addiction. God delivered you from prostitution and all this kind of behaviors. Well, ladies and gentlemen, He didn't deliver you for you to show off about it. He didn't deliver you for you to sit back and lean back and eat popcorns. He delivered you so that you help somebody else get out. Have you been in that pit before? Well, we thank God that you got out. But remember, your rescue from that pit does not end there. You have to keep on revisiting that pit. Not for anybody else, but guess what? To get somebody else to get out of that pit. Not just for anybody who is happy that you got out of that pit and these are the people who are celebrating with you. There are others who are crying, and the reason God delivered you from that pit is to get others who are crying out of that place, and it becomes like a chain, and those others will go and get other people, so that when you finally exit the physical realm, meaning you die, people will say, I thank God that Jane lived, I thank God Philip lived, because God used them to get me out of this place. And if you're in that pit, remember, accept there's a mistake. Start looking for the right people. And number 3, once you have been cleaned up, once you have gotten your help, it doesn't end there. Many people get help from a pit, and then when they pass the same pit, they start laughing at the people in that pit, forgetting full well they were once in that pit. Do not forget where you came from. Do not forget that it took somebody else that God used to help you get out of that pit. Are you that person today? Please start looking for people who are former prostitutes, former gangsters, former addicts, because you're once there. You know the way out. But one thing that keeps holding people back is in your mind. This is when God now releases you to do that which He called you to do, even before you were born. But in your mind, there is a key that only you has, the key of the prison of your mind. This is when God wants to use you in a mighty way, you still say, no, but I was a prostitute. God wants to do mighty things in your life, oh, but I was a gangster. Well, God does not waste our experiences. In fact, do you know, if a prostitute comes for my meetings and they give their life to Christ and they turn around, that is the one who will be an intercessor. They will stay up the whole night praying, because before they would stay up the whole night anyway. God does not waste any experience. So that prison that you've put yourself in, you've locked yourself, yet the key is in your hand and you're looking for other people to open, the mind. Please allow the move of God to manifest. Don't hold back because you look down upon yourself. Because it's bad enough that some other people will look down upon you. So don't make it easier for them by looking down upon yourself. And I want to encourage you. Yes, you're coming from a bad place. Yes, it's filthy. And I do understand it's filthy. It's not something you'd want to put on your CV. I dare say this is not some things you'd want people to know. But let me tell you something. Be vulnerable. Be open. I am the kind of person who believes in being open about some of these things, because if you don't, then the enemy uses divide and rule. The enemy starts reminding you in your inner ear, saying, you know what, oh, guess what, how can you say this, but you used to be a prostitute. Disarm that enemy today. But I want to encourage you. You can still do it. You can turn around, because as long as there's blood running through your veins and your heart still beats, it clearly states and means that your work on earth is not yet done. So please, stop wasting too much time on that pity party. Stop wasting too much time feeling sorry about yourself. Stop complaining. Do not allow that prison of your mind to keep you locked for too long. Because the longer you stay there, you're denying yourself and the world the manifestation of who you are. You got to move on so quickly, because, ladies and gentlemen, there are people falling in pits every day. But as long as you're out of the pit, but in the pit in your mind, those people are missing out. And I want to encourage somebody today. For those of you who have been rescued from a pit, let's have what we call a rescue mission. Let us go back. Leave no man, leave no woman behind. Let us go back to the same pit and say to those people, I have been here. I know the way out. Is that you today? The world is full of hatred. The world is full of discouragement. The world is full of naysayers. I hope you and I will be counted worthy and faithful to be the ones who will be sent forth to rescue other people. Are you willing to join me in this rescue mission? Are you willing to join me in looking for former drug addicts, people struggling with drugs, prostitution, and any other thing that people around you may be struggling with? But sometimes you don't want to be around them because, oh, they're too dirty. Well, I'm looking for people who are willing to rescue people in spite and despite. And not being the hero per se, is just telling people, we have been in this hole, we know the way out. And as we get you out of that hole, others got us out. So let's have a rescue mission. You know what? Many people just need some encouragement. Many people are desperate for a word that you can do it. Many people just want that shoulder. Many people want availability. You may not even say anything. But there's nothing as beautiful as saying, I was hugged, I was appreciated by somebody who wore a white suit, but they were not scared about the mud that was all over my body. But the problem is, sometimes when we are rescued out of some pits, we think that now it was our right. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are the kind of person who are rescued from a pit, let's go back and get other people. In fact, today, even as you're watching, please type a message of encouragement, because somebody here is watching. They may seem okay. They may be typing amen. They may be saying powerful message, but they're in a pit of some sort. Just type an encouraging message. Somebody's deliverance, somebody's turnaround is hinged on a message that you'll type right now, just to encourage them. You may not know them. You may not even know what they're going through. Do you know the world is full of people who are hurting? The world is full of people who are depressed. But they're not talking. They're not screaming for help from the pit, because they know judgment from the tongues of men and women cuts like a new sword. But I want us to be among the few, as I said, who will be counted faithful, that in spite and despite, we will still love each other. Get people out of the pit. And let me tell you, each and every one of us has a purpose. The day you were born, there was celebration, but that is the day purpose said hello to you. That is the day your papa said hello. And then there is a time that the coffin that is open is waiting for you to go in one last time, and it will be closed as you go yonder. But before then, we must manifest purpose. And yes, even you who is struggling in the pit right now, there's purpose in you. So Papa said hello to you the day you're born. Vision is the fuel that will take you to destiny. That vision is for the people who see, not the people who look. Many look at you and see a hopeless person. Many look at you and see a childless woman. Many look at you and see a single man, no job, poor person. But there are people who see greatness in you. Today, stop looking. Start seeing. Seeing is going beyond what the physical eyes can see. It takes a seer to go beyond that, and you will get the greatness out of any person. After the vision, vision drives you to destiny. That when you finally rest from your labors, they will say, here lies a great man, here lies a great woman. I didn't have much to tell you today, just to encourage you. That pit is not your permanent abode. That pit is not your final address. That pit is not your resting place. That pit is just but a bump. But you have to be ready to get out of that place. If you have to crawl out, if you have to scream for help, if you have to pray every day, but you cannot stay in that pit. Leave no man, leave no woman behind. We may have to crawl to destiny, because when you're trying to get out of that pit, your ankle was broken, your knee was bruised, your hand was hurt. But I want to encourage you, just keep moving, because one day you will look back and say, that pit made me. That pit made me have some focus. That pit gave me some zeal, some oomph to move forward. Yes, you who is watching me, you can do it. I know you feel filthy. I know you feel useless. I know you feel nobody listens to you because you have no job, you have no money, you don't live in a good address. Nobody listens to you. But let me tell you something. There will come a time once you get out of that prison that is in your mind. Those that did not listen to you will listen to you. Or you've never even gone out of your locality. The world awaits you. God did not bring you to the face of this earth to be an escort. God did not bring you to the face of this earth to manifest mediocrity. God has purpose for you. Get hold of that purpose today. And the voice of purpose will get you out of that pit. The voice of purpose will lead you to the people who will stand with you, pillars. The voice of purpose will take you to the completion of your destiny. And the voice of purpose will speak beyond your time on earth. But the question is, are you ready to accept their mistakes? Are you ready to accept there's some wrong things you have done? There's some things you need to change. But most importantly, are you ready to get yourself out of that prison of your mind? If you can do that, welcome to your new life. Let's go forth and succeed. And for the people who need to be in the company of what we call other rescue mission, the people in the rescue mission, welcome aboard. Encourage somebody. Don't make things worse for somebody. Type something. You just don't know whose life you're changing. You in the pit. This is the last time you will be in that pit. Welcome to your new life. Until next time, I'm your coach and your friend, Robert Burale. Thank you very much. See you soon, and see you at the top.